and we are on voice. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We are here. We are back. This is the finale of Monster of the Week, like Wonder the Watchers. We are down one player today, just because M does not have internet right now, so they won't be joining us. We will miss them dearly, but it is going to cause some exciting drama. So stick with us for that. The party doesn't really know what's going to happen yet, so but all of that has been discussed with M, so M's the only one who knows. So before we get into it, as usual, we are going to go around, introduce everybody. You can say who you are, what your pronouns are, who you're playing, and then anything else you want to share, go for it. This is our finale, so you can get a little fun with it. Share anything you want to plug. We will also do that at the end as well. Okay? We will start with Hamna.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Hamna. I use any and all pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at @shahid_, where I talk about all of the different projects that I'm a part of. And today I will be playing Futun Vora, who uses they, them pronouns. They are the expert. And I'm excited to see what will happen today. A little scared, but also excited.
Being a little scared is good. This is a spooky mystery, after all. Very nice, very nice. Next up, we have Fishy.
Hi, I'm Fishy. I use he, him pronouns. I'll be playing the Chosen, Drake Galloway, who was this, well, up until last session, he was this punk kid who didn't care, but now he's realizing he might mean more than he thought. We'll see.
We'll see.
So, yeah.
Who knows what'll happen. All right, next up, Mina.
I'm Mina. I play Eddie, the spooky. A lot of things happened last session with Eddie, and now he learned his lesson. So, yay!
Character growth.
Character growth. Also, I do have something. My dog Luna broke her leg on the back, and she requires surgery, which is a lot. And I do have a GoFundMe page if anybody is willing to donate to help Luna, help Luna out. Coran's gonna post it in the link.
Yep, I posted it in the chat, so if anybody can spare anything, little Luna needs some surgery for her leg. So, yeah, that'd be great. Anything else you want to share, Mina?
No, hopefully Eddie survives for next season of Lake Wonder.
We'll see. All right, next up, Taima.
Hi, I'm Taima. He, her, or they, them pronouns work just fine, and you can find me on Timaland, Tima Time, Tima Creative, something Tima in most platforms like Twitter and Tumblr and whatnot, where I do art and D&D homebrew and stuff. I am playing Robin, aka the Hex, aka the disaster witch that dropped into Lake Wonder from Sweden, and who I am a bit concerned for these sessions, and something bad will have happened to their best friend, probably.
Things are going to get pretty serious for Robin. All right, last but certainly not least, Ginny.
Hi, I'm Ginny. I go by Ginny Voss, GINNYVOS, all over the internets, on Archive of Our Own and Tumblr and Twitter and all those places. And I have a blog, allgoodquestions.wordpress.com. But otherwise, I go by she, her, or they, them, and I play Susan. And Susan is just a lovely, lovely soccer mom of a person. She has a baking blog, and she just, she loves being a mom and being there. And, we don't mention that she's like pretty hairy and like has quite big feet. One might say like Bigfoot. But, I don't go around calling all of you human, so don't call me Bigfoot, it's rude. And she's the monstrous.
We stan a buff hairy soccer mom. here in this stream. So,
And I'm doing a bit of a Susan cosplay today, so.
And it's very cute. Alrighty, and I am Corinne. I will be your keeper today. You can find me on Twitter as Manic Pixie Girl without the E in Pixie. And here on Roll the Roll, doing the various things, mainly doing graphics work and sometimes running games like this. But yeah, you can also find me sometimes doing streams other places, but I don't have any other ones planned right now. I already did the 24-hour stream, which I'm a little bit tired, so apologies in advance if I start just speaking complete nonsense. I've gotten maybe like 5 hours sleep, so I'm a little bit sleepy. I am managing, though. I will do it. I'm a trooper.
Let's hope it raises our survival chances instead of lowering them.
Yes, you'll be more likely to make it out of here alive because I'm tired. But yes, so thank you so much for joining us. This is Roll the Roll. We will be using Roll20 for background music, which you've probably heard, and for some lovely images in all of our character sheets. At Roll the Roll, we generally use Roll20 all the time because, honestly, it's my favorite, but that's also how we roll. So, before we get into all of the drama, we have some character art to share. Various people in this group have done art, and we're going to share some of it. So let me just transition over to the map screen where I put it, because it made more sense to put it there. There we go. I said transition. Do it. Sorry. It's, there we go. All right. So hopefully this thing works. I don't know. There we go. Okay. Here is some of the character art. We have, I think what's showing on screen right now would be Lucky. Lucky surrounded by conspiracy theory stuff, and then just Lucky in standard character pose form, wearing their lovely work overalls. And then we have Drake and Eddie from last session when they were having a heart-to-heart out in the woods. And we have Fatoon here, showing their haven down in the ground, just lifting up that door and everybody going on in. And then we have Susan in her beautiful little sundress and sun hat. So cute. And then this one is sideways. I apologize. I couldn't figure out how to make it the right way. This is Drake, sideways, for character reasons. And here's Robin. So most of that artwork besides the Robin and the Drake are by M, who's not with us today, just because of internet things. But the Robin art is by Taima, and the Drake art is by Fishy. But yeah, everybody did such a great job. I was so excited to see so much fan art, or character art, because depending on who was drawing it.
You can be your own fan.
You can be your own fan. You know what? You should always be your biggest fan. It's important for yourself and your self-esteem. But yeah, I wanted to share with everybody. We have just some really great art. I love being able to see all the characters come to life. It's so cute. All right. I'm going to go back to our no map screen. We can always show that again later at the end if anybody wants to see it again. All right. Okay, so where we last left off, things were getting a little bit sticky. You all had arrived at the church at the edge of the lake. This church, to all of your memories, is still a completely functional church in your normal day-to-day lives. It isn't used frequently for normal services. However, there are special events there. There is, a once-a-week service that does occur, and memorials and things like that will occur because it's a very nice locale. However, people are not buried here generally. It doesn't have a cemetery because of its location. And when you all made it to this church, you discovered that there was people inside. Some of the first people you've seen besides yourselves, which was new and weird. you met up with Mira, the person you'd been looking for this whole time. That was actually how you made it to this church, was seeing Mira in a vision. And Mira explained to all of you that she had been here for a while. It was kind of hard to tell time, but she was guessing maybe 6 months. And she had been staying in the church because it was one of the few places she felt safe. She didn't feel like she was being watched. Whereas whenever she left the church, she felt eyes on her, much like all of you had. Somebody watching from the shadows, a cloaked figure. And Mira wasn't alone. There were other survivors, as we'll call them. Susan's daughter Betty was there. Eddie's best friend Ginny was there. I believe it was Fatoon, another ranger, was there. And Lucky's boss was there. Basically, there was just a bunch of people that you didn't know from town. There was even someone that Robin recognized as someone who just stared at them all the time. One of those strangers you see, and the stranger's always giving you a weird look, was there. You didn't know their name. You've never really had a real conversation besides, "What are you doing?" But they were there.
Which one probably were like reading.
Reading a book. As you wander around mumbling to yourself. And so all of these people were here, which was strange. Mira went on to say that there had been other people that she had seen and met and talked to while she was here, but most of them didn't stay long. After they met with her and then left the church again, she never saw them again, which was concerning, because she didn't know where they went or what happened to them. They were just gone. However, you did all speak to her and basically tried to relay to her what you think was going on. You did let her know that you think she's in a coma of some sort. You think that whatever is going on has to do with her and how she got into that coma, and possibly her father, as you do know that her father was with her that day. Eddie, you in particular, you found the memorial decorations and things, the fake flowers, the signage that had been used for Mira and her father's memorial down in the basement. One thing you noticed is that the goods from this memorial seemed to glow brighter in a way, showed up in your sight unlike anything else you had seen. Everything here has had a bit of a strange glow to it when you looked at it through your sight, but this was something stronger. You felt like an air of protection from this. And this air of protection seemed to be encompassing the church in a way. It was located with these memorial decorations, but it did seem to have a bit of a bubble around the church that you essentially came to the conclusion that you think that that is what is protecting the church, making it so you don't feel watched inside of it. However, you did also notice that there was some weird markings on the ground in the basement that you had heard about from your grandmother, or that there used to be some sort of rituals done in the church. Your grandmother never told you what they were specifically, but finding those markings made you think that, yeah, it did happen. However, you don't know whether they were for good or for ill, because you were unable to figure out more before you were interrupted. And finally, when we last left off, for real, you had been standing around discussing this, talking about probably going to the lake to see more, I think you were going to leave Mira at the church and head to the lake yourselves. However, suddenly, it was as if the church was being attacked. There was banging on all sides. Windows were rattling. Doors were slamming against their frames as if being hit. And that was where we left off. As this happens, Lucky looks up and you see a wild look in their eye. They know that there is a door in the basement that leads outside. And they look to all of you and say, "I'm going to go barricade the door downstairs. Somebody get the front door. We need to make sure this place is secure." And then Lucky runs downstairs. Does anybody follow?
Yes.
I will, yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
Platoon will go to
I think
barricade the front
Susan
door.
reaches
Okay.
for Drake.
Okay.
I think Susan reaches for Drake to try and stop him, but then misses and like has this wild look in her eyes, like looking between Drake on one side and Eddie and Betty on the other, just trying to decide and because like yeah, and she calls out after like Drake, wait.
I think I am gonna turn and like start to go back, but like, Miss Susan, I know you want to protect me, but I mean, you're the only adult I've known who actually thinks I'll be worth a shit one day, but this is something that I feel I have to do. And I'm gonna take my leather jacket off and I'm gonna hand it to Betty before like pulling out a cigarette, lighting it, and following to the basement.
All right.
Robin is gonna probably like when you run and then you sort of turn and run backwards and shout out to Susan like, Susan, you're literally one of the strongest people here. Can you help Fatum barricade that door?
Yes. And I'll
Thank
run
you.
over to like, because my first instinct is to run over to Betty and Eddie, but this is also protecting, so I'm gonna run over and try and help Fatoon.
All right.
I'm just like taking like chairs and like loose furniture and just trying to like push them up against the door. So when Susan arrives, I just kind of like indicate for you to like help me do the same thing.
Actually, while you're doing that, I'm gonna throw myself against the door and try to bodily stop it from opening so that you can have time to actually do that.
All right.
Okay, while they were conversing, Eddie does snake off away, so try to make sure Susan doesn't see. And he's gonna head towards the basement and try to warn both Lucky and whoever is down there not to disturb the altar. Otherwise, they're going to break the magical thing that's protecting the church.
All right.
So, like, he just stands by the stairs to call out.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
but doesn't go down.
So Eddie, you're by the stairs. Robin and Drake, you have started heading down the stairs, trying to catch up with Lucky, who already ran down. And then we have Susan holding the front door and Fatoon barricading the front door. Is that right? Okay.
That's right.
So, unfortunately, as Lucky rushes down the stairs to get to that back door, they bump into the memorial supplies, just hitting it with their hip as they go by. Unfortunately, the warning wasn't enough. It wasn't loud enough. It wasn't soon enough. Lucky was already down there. The supplies scatter. There are fake flowers, rose petals that have dried up to a crisp, words and banners that are just kind of fluttering all over the ground. And Eddie, you actually feel this. You feel a sudden snap in the tension. Whatever this bubble was seems to have popped. And Robin, you see Lucky, not even noticing that they have disturbed this altar, run for the back door and start to push against it, but a strong weight, goes against the door and they fall backwards. And Drake, you are just rounding the corner. Robin, you are standing there, and you see the cloaked figure in the doorway. This figure has a cloak on, a hood over their face, and they're wearing what looks to be dark gloves. But most importantly, they have a scythe in their hand. And that scythe swings towards Lucky. And when you think it would impact, instead of seeing some sort of gory scene, you see Lucky dissipate and the scythe sink into the ground.
What was that?
I'm going to attack it. I'm going to burn everything.
All right.
Oh god. That's my level up.
That's your level up.
Mm-hmm. when I use harm, use magic to inflict harm. So I am rushing forward, going. She is. There is like this look on their face that is hard to describe. You saw the blanking, and then the eyes going just dark, pretty much black, and there's this very looming vibrations in the air around them. Let's see how this goes then.
Hey, can I help out? And I'm gonna rush behind and yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
definitely.
so you're gonna roll to help out first, then, so I know if I get the +1 forward or not.
Yeah. Help out was cool. I don't have.
Now, while you're rolling that, I do want to say for Fatoon and Susan, you, although you didn't feel that tension snap like Eddie did, suddenly, whereas before it felt like the church was kind of pushing back against this force, suddenly it's no longer is, and you are holding this door back, Susan, basically of your own strength only. And Fatoon, the things that you have put in front of the door are shaking away. Instead of staying where you put them. All right, let me look at what was rolled here. Okay, so you were able to help out Drake, and that would push you. Did you already add in a +1 forward?
I added a +1.
Okay, so you get a mix. So since this is
oh,
go ahead.
Oh, a mixed success. A miss. It's a mixed success.
It is a mixed success. So,
yeah, okay.
As your eyes change and you feel this rage inside of you, magic essentially shoots out of you. And it does go towards the figure, but Drake is very close by, and you can't control it. Drake, you are also hit by this magical wave that comes out of Robin. And so you can choose to inflict 3 harm area magic obvious or 3 harm ignore armor magic obvious. Which of these did you try to do?
I was attempting to ignore armor because I'm not really interested in burning the things around me, but I realized that it's really bad for Drake.
It is bad for Drake. Drake, I think, read me exactly what your armor does again.
Okay, it's basically, you always count as having 2 armor. This doesn't stack with other protection.
Okay.
It's a magic armor, but otherwise it would be area. Because Robin has literally never used this before, I am going to flip a coin and see what happens, because I don't think they know what's happening.
All right. I think that's fair.
Okay.
All right, what was 2? Was that the 3 harm ignore armor?
I'm so sorry, Drake. Yeah, it was.
Okay.
I'm not gonna be
So,
fun fact, I still had 1 harm from the lighter exploding in the first session, so I am now unstable.
So, Drake, you feel this wave of magic come over you, and it hurts worse than just about anything you felt in your life. You feel that usual, armor that you felt that you've had, that resistance to pain that you felt that you've had in the past, it didn't help you this time, and you're not sure why.
Holy shit, that actually hurt. Ugh.
You fall backwards against the stairs. And Robin, you see that this figure is shocked. You can't see its face necessarily, but there's a bit of a hesitation in its step. It crouches over almost as if trying to hold itself together. And then it steps backwards and dissipates.
And Robin is just screaming at it, like in very angry Swedish, so they probably don't understand, nobody probably understands shit. But at this point, there is, Drake would see that these tears are just beginning to run, and it's just this creepy aura around them, and I am going to use magic again, but this time I am going to use the magic I used earlier, because I've seen this thing up close now.
You have seen it.
I have seen him, so I am going to try and track him.
All right. And while you're doing that, Eddie, you were at the top of the stairs. So when this wave of magic shot out of Robin, you weren't hit by it. But you do see Drake fall against the stairs. And then you feel whatever was pushing against the church suddenly stop. What do you do?
I'm searching, I'm looking around with my sight, trying to grab something. Maybe there's some kind of healing or anything.
All right. As you look around, you spot what looks to be some sort of holy water. And you don't know if you can heal someone with this, but you think that maybe Robin might be able to.
I'm gonna run towards it, grab it, and run towards Drake, and I'm guessing Robin's there.
All right, and then we go back to Fatoon and Susan. Each of you, as you were upstairs, you had witnessed the crowd in the church start to panic as that sudden pressure seemed to stop being exerted by the church, as that air of protection dissipated. And in that moment, you knew that you weren't going to be able to hold these doors. But then, you heard a loud sound from the basement. You heard a whoosh. And then, you heard Robin screaming. And the weight against that door stopped. Whatever was trying to push in, whatever was shaking the walls of the church stopped, leaving an eerie silence in its wake.
Yeah, we're running. I'm running downstairs.
Can I roll to read a bad situation?
You can. Read that situation. It's certainly bad.
I feel like... Ooh, I got a 10.
Nice. All right, what are you asking?
So I've got 3 questions. First, I want to ask, are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
Okay. So the danger you haven't noticed is that wherever that pressure, that weight, whatever was trying to get in the church, it may have disappeared now, but the church isn't safe anymore. Whatever was keeping it out has not come back.
Okay. Second question. What's the best way to protect the victims? And in this case, I'm thinking victims is like everybody in the church, because if the church is no longer safe, how do we protect everyone?
So with your knowledge as an expert, you think about this. You think that if the church is no longer safe, you have 2 options. 1, bring everyone to your haven. You think that in some way it is protected, given that it is a little bit magical all on its own. 2, if the people are no longer safe and if you can't get them to your haven, keeping them moving and keeping them together is the best way to keep them from getting picked off one by one, as you think might have happened to everybody who left the church before, left its safety.
Okay. And then, last question would be, am I allowed to ask, like, what's my best way in, but in being to the haven?
Yeah, I would say that would work. I would say that you're thinking about escape routes. You're thinking about the best way into your haven from here to there. You know that you're not that far from the haven. You're just on the other side of the lake. You think that you have 2 routes. You can try and cross the lake, but getting everybody in boats would be hard, and you don't have enough life jackets for everyone. Or there were more vehicles outside of the church. But you know that previously vehicles had been rigged to explode. You know this from experience. You think there's not one good way. There's no clear option here. But you do know the risks of each.
Okay. Thinking about this, Splatoon gonna like follow Susan, but clearly lagging behind because they're kind of lost in their thought trying to like analyze the situation, while Susan is, I assume, just like gunning it for the basement.
Running like full speed and like actually really, really, really fast. Like literally, like this is not normal really fast. This is not someone who's really good at track. This is someone from one moment to the next going from like standing against the door, keeping it closed, to just, and before you even really realize what's happening, she's already on the top of the stairs, and that's my preternatural spot.
Nice. So
Because Susan is like losing
Susan
control.
Is a furry blur in a beautiful dress, and so
Pretty much.
at this point, everybody is making their way downstairs. Essentially the scared civilians, the scared survivors, whatever we want to call them in this case, the non-hunters, are with Mira, and Mira is trying to keep them calm. But the rest of you have run downstairs. Robin, what are you doing?
Yeah, Robin was while all of this happened, Robin started casting a spell because of Luck of the Damned. I have +1 forward because I used magic.
Yes.
That's an 11. I know which according to the spell, I get an exact vision of where this thing is.
All right. So.
And for a vision for the people that are coming down here now, you'll see that it's hard to actually physically see Robin because of the shadows. You saw that enveloping them and the eyes going entirely black. They're so angry. And they are screaming out Lucky, and they're screaming out something that you can't understand because it would be in Swedish, but translated for you, pretty much give them back.
Oh.
There you so.
Because Robin is screaming and yelling, I'm going to. So I'm going to do this. Telepathy. And I was like, Robin, I have holy water. Can you use this to help Drake? If not, I'm going to just. I don't know what to do. I cannot heal him.
And Robin, you hear this, and as you're about to respond, the spell you were doing finishes, and you get your vision. The vision you get is of this hooded figure standing by the lake. And you see that they're not near the church anymore. They are standing on one of the islands that you all had heard about before. And they are taking down their hood. But beyond that, the vision ends, and you're back hearing Eddie. Eddie saying that Drake is hurt badly, and he doesn't know what to do.
I think at that point, Susan just sort of shoots past Eddie and down the stairs, and you hear for a moment, like, it goes, Drake! And, like, she stands over him, and she just, like, stands full on tall, which Susan never stands tall. She keeps herself small. But in that moment, she stands to her full height, and she's like, Drake! No! And my throat isn't letting me do anything more than that, but and she there's a wildness in her eyes, and her head falls off, and she's standing over him and just growling like an animal at anyone who like even looks at him and looks like he's about to come close, like they're about to come closer.
I think Drake is still a crumpled heap at the bottom of the stairs. Like, it hasn't even tried to move. It's like
he's standing there like, what's going on?
He's just curled up like it. It got lucky.
Because of the frantic state Robin is in right now, I think someone might like, they heard Eddie, but it hasn't fully connected. And I think someone might actually need to shake them out of it, because otherwise because they look like they are about to, like, they are definitely noticing enough that they are like looking back at Eddie, at Susan, who's yelling, screaming. They can tell that it's hurt, and then looking back out the door because they know where this creature is, and they're so angry and they just want to go there. So, what do you guys do to stop them? But
I know there's a alternative weird move with him.
Mm.
I'm going to try to use while I'm still talking to them.
Yeah.
Empath is different from empathy, huh?
Mm.
What I do? Trust your gut. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to Robin, place my hand over their shoulder but not touching them, and I'm going
Good
to
choice.
look. I'm pretty sure you are taller than.
Yeah, they are pretty tall.
So I'm going to look up and just gonna like yell at their face.
That's one way to get through to someone.
Yep.
Wake up! Everybody needs help. Snap out of it.
Okay.
And then I'm trusting my gut that this happens.
Oh boy.
All right, let me look at trust your gut. See if this gives you any sort of bonuses here.
Well,
Let me take a
I
look.
don't know what that. No,
isn't that
that's
would that be
not-
charm or something?
I think
Because
I don't have my glasses. So I
It's a
can't
plus weird roll, and it says that when you consult your instincts about what to do next, you roll, and then on a 10 or more, the keeper will tell you where you should go. Wherever that is, it will be important, and you get +1 ongoing on the way to the place, and then lesser things happen on lesser rolls.
I don't think that applied to this.
However, I don't think that applies. However, I will say that you and Robin have been working together a lot recently. You've done a lot of spells together. I would like you to roll a weird for me to see if you can get through to Robin. Use some magic here. See if you can create something that will get through to them.
No.
So, Eddie, you try. You know that you've been connected to Robin recently. However, you know that Lucky just disappeared. You see Drake, probably one of the few friends that you've made recently, besides the rest of the hunters from your other party, crumpled at the heap of the stairs. And as much as you try to get through to Robin, you're just as distraught. You're afraid. You are just a kid in the scheme of things. And this is hard. And Susan, you are protecting Drake, at least you think you are. You are standing over him, making sure nobody gets near. We essentially have two warring parties here. We have Robin, so lost in their own emotions that they're unable to help the situation and are a danger to themselves and others. And we have Susan, who has lost herself to her more monstrous impulses because one of her kids are hurt.
So Futun is seeing all of this happen, and they're kind of like putting pieces together about what's going on and being impatient, knowing that they don't have time before this thing comes back and tries to attack them again. Futun is going to take the holy water out of Robin's hands.
I'm not the one with it.
Not with it? Okay. Is going to
Eddie.
ask Eddie then if they can try it. They've been studying magic. They've been studying Robin doing their own magic. They think maybe they can at least try to recreate the spell. There's no guarantee that it'll work, but
I'm gonna hand the holy water, and I'm gonna go look. I'm still looking through the rubble, trying to find something else.
All right. Fatun, you have the holy water, and you have seen Robin doing spells. You've been studying this stuff, even if you haven't done so much magic yourself. I would like you to roll to use magic for me. Roll that weird.
Are you doing that from a distance, or are you trying to get close?
Oh boy.
Does that would be a question for Taima. Do you think that this spell that you've
You
used in
would
the
need-
past?
Yeah, it would be close. I'm afraid it's a touch, a sort of touch thing.
So you would
Then
have
I
to
am
get
trying
close.
to get past Susan at least.
Oh boy. Oh
No!
boy.
I'm
We
gonna
have-
tell Betty to go take her mother upstairs or something. Try to convince Betty to. Wait, Betty's upstairs.
Betty is upstairs.
Mhm.
Betty is with the others with Mira.
I mean, you could talk
I
to her.
think I'm gonna
It's
attempt to.
it's a roll to go against it.
Yeah. Or,
I think in combination, the if Drake wanted to say something, if Futu wanted to say something, to kind of snap Susan out of it, I think Susan would get that chance to roll for it, to knock herself back into a little bit more rational way of thinking.
yeah.
I'll give Drake first shot.
Yeah. It's gonna be like, Miss Susan, let him help. I think
You're hurt. No. Who did it?
just let them
Oh boy.
help. And as I say this, I'm struggling like to stand on my feet, and
No, just. And Susan goes to her
I'm
knees
not.
and I think I roll plus cool for this, so I'm gonna try.
Yes, give it your best shot.
I believe in you.
We believe in you,
That's a straight
Susan.
roll. It's a 10.
Oh, thank you.
Okay,
whew,
Susan, you are standing there over Drake, and Drake is pleading with you as he tries to get up. Fatoon is beside you, being like, I need to get through. And Eddie is standing there, just shocked, appalled, wishing more could happen, while Robin freaks out in the corner, essentially. But Susan, it breaks through.
No, you're hurt. No one can. No.
it's not the first time. Just let them help.
What do you?
The fact
Okay,
of the matter is,
later.
I'm not running anymore. I'm not hiding anymore. Let them help, because I'm going to go do something whether I'm healed or not.
Just quickly, Fatoon, please. I'm sorry.
All right.
I will gingerly approach Drake very carefully and try and recreate the spell that I've seen Robin use. I got a 13.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
You've been watching very closely, Fatoon, and you and Robin have been working together a lot. You think that essentially Robin helped you do this, even though they're lost in their own grief right now. And as you bring this bottle of holy water over to Drake, you put some on your hands and rub them together, and your hands start to glow. And Eddie, you in particular, you see this glow is very bright. Fatoon, you bring your hands onto Drake's shoulders, and then one on his shoulder, one on his head. And that glow goes all over his body. And Drake, it feels like you are standing in warm sunshine. And suddenly, all the pain is gone.
Wow.
How are you feeling?
I'm good now. Yeah.
Nothing,
I-
no weird things happened. This is my first time doing it, so I just want to make sure.
I feel fine. I think, yeah, whatever that was, I think it worked. But-
Guys,
Well-
Robin is running.
Yeah,
What?
while they were distracted by that, Robin, who doesn't want to lose, like they used to use a spell, they know where the small is, they know where the one who took lucky is, and they are, as we know now, not thinking clear, and the attempt to calm them probably made them more upset instead, since it was a fall, and now they're running out towards this. Oh,
So,
God.
Robin, you are booking
Yeah.
it for the door downstairs.
Oh, absolutely. We are in the basement already.
You are in the
so
basement,
it's-
yes.
So I am. I am, and I was But since we were close to the door where it was standing, I am just running straight out.
Yeah,
now,
so
and-
as the rest of you are tending to Drake, you look up and you see Robin's silhouette through the door and out into the gloom. The door bangs behind them, and you don't know where they're going.
This is so bad.
I think I'm gonna attempt to run after, but Susan or anybody can feel free to grab me if they want. But I'm gonna, attempt to book it.
I imagine sitting with basically my arm behind your back, sort of holding you slightly up so that they could reach you. So I was definitely like holding on to you. So I'm just like.
I get this, so like in my head, it's like, I know full well you're stronger than me. Even though I'm a rather fit teenager, I'm still just a kid and you're,
Bigfoot.
strong. Yeah. So I feel like you just get this image of Drake like trying to run, but Susan has a hold on him.
We shouldn't leave the kids behind, everybody. We gotta keep together before we go running off.
Yeah, that's
Speaking of that, where's Lucky?
it
I
got
think
them.
she's awake.
The thing.
Awake?
Whatever
How
happened,
awake?
She
Yeah.
just poofed.
Yeah.
They
They're gone.
Just go grab Betty. Everybody, we need to go stick together. We need to run after Robin. If
Robin
we
is-
lose Robin.
we're not going wherever that
I'm
The
whatever
door is
it
no
is-
longer protected.
No.
There's no protection here. We need to go somewhere where it's protected.
We can go to the Haven. If we take everybody there, I have some protection spells up on it. We might be able to protect people there.
wait,
okay.
Robin just
Somebody's got to go with Robin, and is there a roll I can make to try and get free? And
Let me take a look. Just because
Okay.
Susan is very strong and
Yeah.
does not want you going anywhere. But let
yeah,
me
that's what I'm.
let me see here.
Because he's gonna try. Like,
Yeah, like I'll be real. I would not blame them if nobody ended up following, because this is a very difficult situation.
Drake wants to follow,
Oh,
but
Lord.
Eddie,
know.
can you contact them?
No, too far. I have to see them.
Okay, so I would say, Drake, you have a couple of options here.
okay.
You can try to act under pressure to try and slip away, essentially wiggle your way out of this. Or
Okay.
you could try and kick some ass. You can step on Susan's feet and try and
Okay,
escape that
like-
way.
Okay. Normally, I would pick option B, but since this is Susan and like the one adult that Drake has an ounce of respect for, he's not gonna do that to her.
I would like.
So I'm gonna act under pressure instead.
Oh, Eddie, are you going to try and assist?
I'm going to try to assist. I'm going
Okay.
to tumble into the rubble to distract everybody.
All right,
Okay.
all right.
I'm gonna.
Roll to help
Yeah.
out.
Performance.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait until we see what Eddie gets, so I know if I get my
cool, right?
Yes, you would roll
performance,
cool
yeah.
to help out.
Oh, it's a 0.
act under pressure is cool. Okay.
Okay, so, Eddie,
Oh, no.
you were trying to help out, but the fact that you had been trying to tumble into these rocks,
Okay.
you
I
do
don't
still
get-
succeed. You do fall into the rocks. You just also take one harm because you literally fell. You tripped into the rocks. This could still pose a distraction, so I will give you a +1 forward, Drake, because Eddie literally
Okay.
did just hurt himself. So, Susan, another child's been hurt, just so you know.
Oh god. Okay. Let's
Okay,
see.
yeah, I guess
This is
I
not
guess-
Susan's day.
I don't think it is.
Is that? Did you just get a 0?
Oh my god, how do you get a 0 with a +1
I don't know.
forward?
It says 2d6 plus 2.
Okay, I don't think you got a 0. I think that calculated weird because there was an extra plus in there. So you actually got 6, 7, 8, 9. You got a 9, which is
Yeah.
yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's better. I typed wrong. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
That scared me. Like, how did I do that? My cool is my highest stat, so it's.
I was like, wait, it's not even
I
possible
have
unless
a
you
plus
have.
2.
Unless you're
so
at a
Yeah,
there's
negative.
okay,
no
that's
way.
not possible to
Yeah.
get a 0
Yeah.
then.
I have a
Yeah.
plus 2. There's no way.
I was like,
You got
unless you have
+3 in
minus.
total.
Okay.
So,
Okay, 9 makes more sense. Yeah.
Susan, you know immediately that Drake is trying to wiggle out of this. He's not being very stealthy about it. However, right in that pivotal moment when you would need to squeeze just a little bit harder to keep your hold as he's doing this essentially, Eddie falls and cuts his hand. And you smell that blood on the air and you know it's Eddie's. And you have that brief moment of release to go and help Eddie. And it's just enough for Drake to slip
Yep,
out.
I'm gone.
I think part of that mixed success is that, like, when he slips out, he looks back and he just sees like how scared and how terrified Susan is, and how she just you just see her reaching out, going like, no, and like that little bit of a growl,
You get
like
so
slipping
much
into her
guilt.
voice, and just sort of reaching out, but then and then a sort of defeat coming over her face.
A lot of guilt there, Drake. A lot of
I think
guilt with that
before-
success.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think before like I open the door and turn around, look at Susan and see this, it's like, I'm sorry, I have to do this, and then I just run up, Robin.
And Drake heads off to Robin. I do want to thank Toxitanium for the follow, and Lord Apex Bro for the resub. Thank you very much. All right, so where we sit now, Drake is healed, running after Robin. Robin, who has gone missing, looking for the hooded figure. They know where it is. We have Fatoon, Eddie, and Susan all still at the church with the rest of the survivors or civilians, whatever we want to call them. And you have some options here now.
I don't think Susan, like, I think I'm gonna have to roll plus cool to not run after him, honestly.
Yeah, I would say that's fair.
Like, yeah.
You might end up following. So yeah, roll
Yeah.
that cool for me. Let's see how you handle this.
That's a mixed success.
All
Let me
right.
see what it says exactly. Let's see. You must do so immediately or act under pressure to resist. It doesn't say what it does on a mixed success, but I think I have enough presence of mind to get up and turn to the rest and say, make sure someone takes the others to the to Fatoon's place. I'm going, and that's just like,
And
Yeah,
Susan.
I'm not
under
in
pressure.
complete like emotion, but I'm definitely going after.
Okay.
The act under pressure mixed success says worst outcome, hard choice, or price to pay.
And I feel like this was already a hard choice for you.
Yeah.
You have left Betty alone with the rest of the party, but you have left Eddie, Betty, and Ginny, Eddie's friend here. So you have left some children in danger to run after Drake and Robin.
It's a potential danger versus a real danger.
Exactly. You've made a very hard
think-
decision here.
I think what I do, like, get, what's her name again? The one who we think is sort
Mira?
of causing this.
Mira.
Get Mira away from them. And with that, I run after.
Oh.
All right. So, Fatoon and Eddie, you are the last remaining hunters left in the church. Fatoon, I know that you were your plan is to try and get the rest of the survivors and the civilians to your haven. Have you considered which route you want to take to do that?
I think Fatoon turns to Eddie and like tells him about the two options, that they could take the boats, but there's not enough life jackets, or they could take the cars, but they might blow up, and like asks Eddie for his opinion, and like, is there anything that Eddie can do to mitigate the risks of any one of those options, since Eddie has clearly a lot of power.
I sent a message to Corinne real fast.
Oh, yeah. Let me see. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at Bethune I'm like, run after the others. Meet me at the haven. I'm going to take the others to your haven. And I remember the buttons and stuff like that you pushed. And I'm going to put the kids inside.
Okay. Fortuna's gonna like breeze past the fact that Eddie just admitted to like looking at the password and memorizing it, but the situation it does not call for this right now, so they're just gonna trust Eddie and say, okay.
All right,
And
go
then-
for then I'm going to run up the stairs, hoping Fatun listened, and I'm going to hold Betty and Jenny's hand. Oh, and the other. Oh, I can't do this. Oh no, I forgot there's 3.
Oh boy.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the upstairs and I'm gonna talk to him. It's like, what's the girl's name again?
Mira? The
Mira.
Okay.
All right, Mira. I'm gonna go take Jenny and Betty to a safe haven. Do you know a place to hide other than this church?
I don't know, the church has been the safest place the whole time. And she, you know, covers her mouth and she's thinking really hard. And then she pauses and she's like, well, so before I got to the church, I was hiding in the school because it's so big. I felt like it, whatever it was, it couldn't watch me when I was in the school because the school was, you know, large. I could get to, you know, one of the inner rooms and it had to come inside to find me. So, I mean, I could take people to the school.
Okay. It's too far away. Okay. I will be right back. Hide somewhere. In the rubble, doesn't matter. Just try to hide yourself as much as you can. If this doesn't work, if I don't come back in 10 minutes, go to the school.
Okay. I will, I promise.
Okay. I'm going to hold Betty and Jenny's hand, and I'm going to try to poof to the haven.
All right.
Alright. So this is going to be a weird roll.
Roll that weird. Be weird, Eddie.
Eddie, do this thing.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I believe in Eddie. No!
Oh.
Eddie.
Okay, I'm going to spend my luck.
All right. You spend that
Oh,
luck.
boy.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Alright, I'm
Damn.
gonna spend that luck. So it's an automatic 12, which means I go where I wanted.
So you are holding on to Betty and Jenny, and you tell them to hold on tight. You close your eyes. You envision the haven. You envision where the haven was. You feel the sucking of air as if a vacuum has been created. And then the air goes back out again. And you open your eyes, and you're in the woods, and the hatch to the haven is in front of you.
Okay. I tell them to wait. I go, do the little hand symbols that Fatun did, and wait.
All right. I would just like an act under pressure roll to make sure that you remember these symbols and can complete them successfully.
Pressure is.
I believe in you. You can do it.
Is it cool or sure? Or it's cool, right?
Yes, that'd be cool. Because you know these symbols. You did remember them. You just...
Oh my god! Girls
I
today!
have to spend my luck. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I need this. These
Okay.
kids protected, and I don't want to
Oh.
blow up her place or their place.
So, for a minute, you start
Oh,
doing the symbols, and you stutter.
Oh.
And you freeze for a second, and you're like, No, I remember this. I got this. And you feel as if that connection you had with your grandmother, that had felt so faded before, has come back stronger. You feel her guiding your hands. And you complete the symbols as you needed to, and the hatch opens, allowing you to guide Betty and Jenny inside.
So I'm going to look at Jenny. It's like, you know me. Hold the door. I will come right back.
You got it.
Okay. Do not close it, because if you close it, I probably will mess up on the symbols again.
Yeah, and I don't want to know what happens when that happens. I'll keep the door open.
All right. And then I'm going to try to poop out again.
Okay, you gotta poof again.
Oh dear.
Oh my gosh. This is gonna hurt.
This is very stressful.
You
Yes.
poof.
Finally!
You feel as if your grandmother was still watching over you. She was there for you when you were trying to do the symbols, and she stayed, helping you get to where you needed to go. You were back at the church.
Okay. I'm here. Let's go. We gotta go. Grab my hand. Where are you at?
Mira and the others. So that would be Mira, Lucky's boss, and the other ranger that knows Fatoon are the other three who are remaining. There isn't anybody else who was here that you remember. These were the specific ones who you had spoken to before. So Mira pops her head out from inside the sacristy, and then you see the other ranger crawl out from underneath like a literal pile of garbage, just like out of the garbage. And then you see Lucky's boss, who was literally really bad at hiding and just like right behind the door when you opened it.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna look at the ranger. I'm like, you know the woods.
I do, yes.
Book it.
Okay, where am I going?
Okay.
Just the woods?
The woods. You're going to. I'm gonna try to tell them the location of the haven.
You would say like you're gonna go as if you're going to the ranger station, but then you're gonna hang a left at the less walked path.
Right. And like, I'm gonna take the kids with me, and the boss.
All right,
But I know you got this.
I've got this.
I'm going. You got a gun, right?
I have a flare gun.
Okay. Oh, that doesn't work. Here you go. And I hand him my gun.
He's like, all right.
I found it. It's
Why do
okay,
you have
it's not mine.
we're gonna talk about this later.
Okay. Just go book it.
And the other ranger runs off. I am going to cut to Fatoon now. Fatoon, Eddie had told you to go after the others, and that Eddie was going to get them to the haven. What are you doing?
I am going to trust Eddie, and I am going to run the last place that I saw Susan running out and trying to follow as best that I can.
All right. I would like you to roll I believe this would be a sharp to try and track. I think that makes sense.
Okay. Got a 7. Just barely succeeded.
Just barely. So a lot has happened in a very short period of time. This has been probably one of the most overwhelming days you've ever experienced, and that's saying something. You're a park ranger, you have a weird hole in the ground. There's a lot of things going on in your life at any one given moment. However, you know the woods, you know what different footprints look like in the ground. You are able to tell, in particular, Susan's feet, because Susan is A, wearing heels, B, those are some mighty big heels, and you find them. However, it does take you longer than you would have liked. You think you lost a little bit of time, but you are able to find Susan's footprints, and you know you can follow them.
Not to mention that I've been trying to track Susan before I met Susan for like a long time.
You
so-
have, yes. So you had experience looking in particular for Susan's feet.
This is so.
And you think that's how you manage, is because you've been looking for Susan for a while now.
Susan once a year goes to this really nice specialized store in the big city where somehow it's they have all these lovely heels, but somewhere how it's mostly men buying them.
Just it's the Bigfoot store.
The Bigfoot store. It's like Foot Locker, but big Foot Locker.
Yeah, it's Big Foot Locker. It's big and tall Foot Locker.
Totally.
Foot vault.
All right.
They're very.
What do
they're
I
mostly
stumble
very
into?
Sparkly shoes and stuff.
So, Fatoon, as you are catching up, it does take some time. However, what you come upon is a scene that is many different things all at once. Let me change our scenery here.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, do I reach this thing?
Do you?
Because I ride on it.
So,
Yes.
I'll just
Ooh.
show chat. Let me cover up our cute little slideshow. That doesn't need to be here right now. All right. So, Robin, you knew that this individual was at the lake. You knew that after they did whatever it was they did to Lucky, they went to that island in the middle of the lake, the one where you believe the boat crash happened. So the first thing that happens is you arrive there, shaking with rage, your eyes still completely blacked out. You're giving off a darkness that in a way actually makes you similar to this shape, to this strange thing that's been watching you. There's almost a kinship between you, this rage and grief that has subsumed you. And as you run to the edge of the lake, you spot the shape, the hooded figure, standing out in the lake. At first it looks like they're standing on the island, but really they're just kind of hovering on the water, hood still up. However, as you run up and stop at the edge of the lake, it turns, and you feel something almost piercing into your soul, as if you're being pulled forward towards whatever is in that dark cloak. And you start walking into the water completely. It's not of your own volition. And what do you do?
Okay. I'm walking towards it, and I'm guessing it's getting a bit heavy because I'm getting deeper into the water. And she's yelling out to this thing angrily as she sort of picks up her. Gosh, just give me a moment. I just lost there's
That's
so
all right.
many things. Whew. Character moment. Okay. She's picking up her crossbow actually,
Okay.
and she, as you might remember, they picked up some silver arrows for this early on.
They did,
And
yes.
they are going to use it, but they're going to use magic again. They are, as we have all noticed, they are not thinking. They are gonna continue to burn everything. And they are screaming out to this creature, calling it a coward, calling it all kinds of bad words really. You can, about half of it in Swedish, you can probably imagine. And let's...
Yeah, so I would like two things. First,
Yes.
since you are being pulled into the water
Yes.
by a preternatural force, this is something beyond, something similar to your own magic in a way, something very much that you feel right now is that rage and that grief pulling you forward. I would like you to do one of two things for me. You can either
Okay.
roll to use your own magic to resist, by rolling a weird for me. Or you can try and muscle through this pull by rolling a cool for me, to basically use your will against this. So will or magic, essentially.
I believe that my magic is stronger, so that's what I'm gonna go with.
All right.
So first, you want me to first roll to essentially use my magic against it.
Yes, to try and gain some sort of control back of whatever this force is pulling you forward. All right.
That's a mixed success.
So the darkness around you grows deeper, so much so that you feel as if that dark shape in the distance is kind of a mirror of yourself. You feel the darkness come over you like a cloak, and your eyes are still pitch black. And as much as it's pulling you forward, you push backwards. And you feel that tension again, and the shape in the distance stumbles, losing its grip on you. However, you've also lost more of your grip on yourself. And anyone trying to pull you back from this dark headspace you're in is going to have more trouble now, because you are very much on the same wavelength as this creature.
Okay.
But you can now roll to do magic to attack, or to kick some ass to attack, as you are about, I would say, up to your upper waist in water at this moment.
I would like to... Actually, I am going to use magic, but as I see this creature stumbling before me, there's something that seems to click in space in my head. Like I'm completely lost in this dark, but this dark in itself also makes me that horrifying kind of calm at this point. Because for me, this is all that exists right now. And I am going to cast Bind, because that's one of the things that I prepared before this.
All right. As you go to do that, Drake,
yes,
you catch up. And what you see is Robin in the lake, but Robin doesn't look like Robin anymore. Robin is covered in this dark shape, a dark mass that seems to move and drift almost like smoke. You can't see their head or really their hands anymore. It almost looks as if they are wearing a cloak themselves, much like this creature you've been avoiding. And they are about halfway into the lake, doing motions with their hands as if they're casting a spell.
Let's see.
I'm going to. I have preternatural speed, so I'm assuming that I caught up with Drake at this point.
Yes,
And
right as Drake sees this, you skid to a halt, witnessing the same
I
thing.
run right past.
Yeah.
Actually,
Do you go into the
Because
water?
got there first.
I know what Drake is going to do. He's going to go after, and I think the only way Susan knows to protect him is to go first.
All right, so you get in the water
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to the...
All right, three of you are in the
Switchblade
water.
out. Yep.
And
boy.
and Robin is casting a spell.
Yes.
As you as we stop with the scene for a moment, Eddie, you took the others to the Haven, and it wears on you a lot. This has been a lot of back and forth magic, a lot of strong magic. As you poof them back to the Haven, you stumble and you reach up and touch your nose, and you're bleeding again. You are pale and shaky. What do you do?
Everybody's back.
Yes, you. The only one who is not at the Haven is the Ranger, but it would just take him longer to get there. He does have your gun, though.
gonna stumble down while everybody's inside already. Stumbling down the stairs, going to the kitchen, and devour the sandwiches that Susan made.
Susan
get
saves the
energy
day with her
back.
sandwiches. All right. So, Eddie, you stumble to the table, are shoving sandwiches in your mouth, and the other people in the Haven are kind of staring at you with a very confused, almost a little bit like uncomfortable look on their face, like that when you're watching someone just devour food so quickly, they're like, oh my god, they're gonna choke. That is very much the face they have on right now.
Just go make coffee or something. I need some energy.
Um,
there should be energy drinks. Go grab me one.
Mira just shuffles around a little bit, finds the mini fridge, and pulls out some energy drinks or some iced coffee or whatever it is Fatoon would have in the way of quick energy.
Now just eat and drink. That's pretty much what I'm trying to do to gain energy right now.
All right. So, Eddie, it will take you some time to recover, and your nose is still bleeding. However, you do start to feel some of your energy return, and we will come back to you in a minute. Fatoon, you were chasing after Susan, and you were able to track her down. It took you longer than you would like. So you are still, you're not at the lake yet. You're still a ways away. However, you have pretty good eyesight. You're used to wander around the woods looking for very specific things. And so off in the distance, you see a rather interesting scene. You see what you think must be Robin in the lake, although from afar, it just looks like a weird, writhing mass of darkness. And then you see someone you think is Drake, you can tell by the red hair. And you see Susan. All of them are in the lake. And you see whatever that dark shape was, whoever was watching you, hovering over the water, kind of getting back to their feet. It looks like they had been knocked down in some way. But they're still hovering, not touching the water or not touching that island they're by. And what do you do?
I'm going to see this, and is Robin still kind of in that, like, not fully here, kind of like trance-like state?
Worse than before. They don't look mad anymore. They are just completely blank.
Futun is first going to try yelling out to Robin to try and get their attention, to try and get them to stop going into this lake.
All right, I would like you to roll to charm for me.
Okay. Not very good at that, but we're going to try.
Oh.
6.
So you call out, and your voice breaks a little bit as you do because you're yelling so loud. You're still so far away. Your voice gets carried away on the wind. And you think that although Robin might have heard you, it wasn't enough to break through whatever's going on in their head. And go ahead.
So seeing this, and I think Futun is going to assume that Robin is not acting fully autonomously, that there must be some sort of like spell or charm or something on them that is causing them to do this, to clearly go into the lake and potentially drown is what it looks like. So they are going to take out their like magic bag, which is literally just a bag of magic beans. They're going to take one of the beans out and throw it like just enough to either hit the cloaked figure or to land like just in front of them to try and like break their concentration on whatever they're doing.
All right. So you throw these magic beans. Do these magic beans require you to use magic to use them? Or are they innately magic themselves?
I believe they are innately magic. It's a weapon that I have.
Okay.
It's 1 harm, it's far, and it says magic, which I don't know if it means that they are magic or I need to use magic, but I'm pretty sure.
I would think that the weapon itself is magic. So you reel back and chuck this bean into the water. You've spent a lot of time skipping stones across this lake, and you do that special little flick of your wrist that sends this beam skidding across the water. It doesn't make it all the way to the cloaked figure. However, it does land between this cloaked figure and Robin, or who you assume is Robin. And there is a strange sound, kind of like a sizzling or like a rope snapping. And Robin, as lost as you are in this, as you are, casting your spell, whatever was pulling you into the lake, it doesn't start up again. You had broken it. You had gotten through it. But instead of whatever that shape is trying again, this time it can't for whatever reason. And you are able to continue with your binding spell. I believe you got a mix of success. Is that correct?
I rolled a 9, so yes.
All right. So you think that this hooded figure tries to do whatever it was doing before that was pulling you forward and is unable to. And so you try a little something of your own. It works, in a sense. But what is this binding spell supposed to do specifically?
The binding spell is supposed to make someone unable to move. As like essentially, it would catch them where they are.
Right.
And let's see. Give me a second. I'm gonna check what is me looking. Yeah, that's pretty much what it does. Yeah.
All right, so it works. You see this hooded figure stop moving, unable to move any farther, and instead of hovering on the water, they sink like a stone, hitting the ground, that small island they had been standing near. And you actually hear a peculiar clunk, almost like they hit something inorganic. However, there's a backlash. And you feel yourself become immobilized. Although you're not sinking because your feet are still on the ground, you can't move by yourself. And, Drake, you're up. What are you doing? You see all of this.
That's a good question. Like I had gotten the water. I think like my switchblade is open. It's in my teeth like military tile as I was just starting. I was already in, so I'm swimming. I think at first I'm swimming towards the, I'm going towards the figure. But when I see what happens to Robin, I think I'm going to change course and go see if I can't grab them.
All right.
And come to their aid instead.
Susan, what are you doing when you see this?
I'm going for the figure.
Okay.
I think Susan is full on focused right now. This is
Mama Bear.
This is in her mind with her Drake, because like she can't fathom anything else, and it did something to Lucky, and it's been threatening them. It's what's threatening Betty. This needs to go. It needs to go. So she's swimming, and she had this, like, she's been holding on to this cast iron frying pan the whole adventure, and I think this is the moment where we just sort of see her, as she is about to jump into the lake, just sort of roar for a second and toss it aside and just like let that veneer of like always acting as human as she can go, and she just goes for it, and like she doesn't care. Her head is gone. Her shawl that she's been keeping around herself falls to the ground, and she just jumps in and starts swimming.
Seeing as well the figure like drop into the water like a stone, I think Futun would have in that moment like gone, also just like ran and like jumped into the lake to swim in as well.
All right, definitely. Okay, so as you're all in this lake now, we go back to Eddie. Eddie, you have eaten a lot of sandwiches. You've drank some energy drinks or some coffee, and you feel your energy returning. You think that although you're not still up to your full strength, you could try teleporting yourself again.
I'm going to attempt it. I'm going to look at everybody as like, okay, stay here. When you hear the ranger, just let him in. Block the doors until we come back. And then I'm going to step outside so they don't see me disappear again. And I'm gonna do whatever and lock the door. Or not, they'll lock the door, I guess. And then I'm going to imagine Robin, because I've been working with Robin often with spells and stuff.
Okay, so you're going to focus on Robin?
Focus on Robin, and I'm going to try to get to them.
All right, I would like you to roll me a weird, please. You're going to need to tap into your well of magic for this. You're still tired, as much as you have gotten some of your strength back.
It's going to hurt. Okay. That's weird. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
That was a success.
Your new friends are in trouble, Eddie. You seem to only make friends when there's danger. And maybe that's weird, but you care about them. And you focus on that. You focus on Robin and how upset you know they were when whatever happened to Lucky happened. And you're at the lake. And oh boy, are a lot of things happening.
Oh boy.
But
I just take everything in.
Yeah, Eddie, you're just standing there like jaw dropped, eyes wide open. And with that, we're going to take a quick break because we've been going for about an hour and a half now. So it's been a while. So we're going to take a break. We'll be back in 5 minutes. We're just going to go up, get some drinks, maybe go to the bathroom, be people for a couple minutes. And we'll be back for what seems to be the final confrontation. Things are getting real. Alrighty, everybody. Be right back. Cameras out and... alive as well. Alrighty, we're back. We got water. I got water. My throat's sore. I've talked a lot in the last 24
tea.
hours. We got drinks. We went to the bathroom, and we're back for the inevitable confrontation with death. So let's get into it. So, as you all, or at least most of you, directly reach this island, something happens. Again, it's almost as if reality is incredibly malleable here. Instead of being in the lake, each of you is now standing in a field. Although your clothes are still wet, and you can still hear the water, the water's nowhere to be found. And you see this figure, perhaps death, perhaps something else, standing in the distance, farther away than before. You had all been getting very close. And there's a storm brewing behind him.
Running, preternatural speed, all that.
All right, Susan's booking it. What's everyone else doing?
Yep.
Where's Robin? How's Robin looking? How close am I to Robin?
So Robin is still cloaked in darkness. They actually turn to look at you for a moment, and their eyes are completely black. The darkness actually seems to be coming from their eyes and from their hands, and going up their arms and over their head, creating a cape or a hood, as you had seen in the lake. Although now that, you're no longer standing in the water, it's more obvious that this cloak goes all the way down, shrouding much of Robin's body, making them appear very much like death standing in the distance, except this one's right by you and is supposedly your friend.
Power of darkness. Let's do this.
I'm becoming the most.
I'm gonna look at this Reaper person. I'm like, oh, hell no. And I'm going to try to hex it.
All right.
Because that's my go-to power. And I'm going to try to break something important. Everything's quiet.
All right.
There we go.
It's getting some music back going for you. Alrighty. So you're going to try and hex. I would like you to roll to use magic for me. All right. Eddie, what does your hex do again, specifically?
That's what I was looking for. Alright, there it is. Character sheet. When you cast a spell, you use magic, as well as normal list of effects. You may pick from the following lists. Contract with disease, suffer or harm, or the target breaks something precious or important.
All right, so what are you trying to do here?
I'm trying to break something that's precious or important.
All right, what are you trying to break? Anything in particular?
You know what? I'm gonna go with a sight.
All right.
Even though I want it.
I mean, it's very cool.
Very cool looking.
So, Eddie, you focus your energy, your hex, your magic, on the scythe. And you feel that magic leave you, going towards the destination. And although it hits the scythe doesn't break in half. It cracks. You think that another good hit might break it, but it's still functioning. And you are already feeling that tiredness come over you again. You think that while you can keep doing magic, it is going to be at some personal cost. You've exhausted yourself today. Although your nose hasn't started bleeding again. So you're in the clear there. Susan, you're running full tilt towards the Reaper. Is that correct?
Yes, and roaring, like all out roaring at this point as well. And
Alright.
it's not a truly like a tiger or something. There's more of a higher tone to it. So for those people who do hunt Bigfoot, this is kind of this sound that you sometimes hear recordings of, which is what Bigfoot make when they are very, very upset and either running towards something or running away from something. And usually when the recordings are made, it's actually them running away because they don't want to be seen because they're scared.
So, Fatoon, you've heard this before. You know that this is a sound that it means one of two things. Either rage or fear, given what you know about Bigfoot. And to hear that coming out of Susan, it's probably a bit shocking, given what you know about her. And, okay, Susan, you are getting closer. But before we get to that inevitable confrontation, Drake, what are you doing?
I'm focused on Robin.
Okay.
I'm gonna look, before you mentioned, like, our eyes sort of locked, and Robin does not look much like Robin right now. And so, I'm just gonna look at them like, hey, Robin, it's me. Are you good? You don't have to become this thing to fight it. We've got you. You're not alone. We're here. Oh, and before I say this, I took the knife out of my mouth because that's a thing.
Trying to talk with a knife in your mouth.
He starts to talk and he's like, wait.
Imagine starting and realizing you're just taking
then he starts
out.
over. Like,
Yeah.
we've got you. We're here.
Okay.
We're gonna kick this thing's ass, but we have to do it together. Just come back to us.
Okay, Robin, I would like you to do a cool roll for me to see if you're able to calm this rage of emotions inside you, this grief.
Yeah, I actually have a thing for act under pressure when in to go against a certain.
Yeah. I would like you to act under pressure, and because Drake is talking to you, trying to connect with you, I will give you +1 forward for this.
Okay.
I'm scared.
I also recently, funny enough, I also recently used magic.
You
so
did,
I have +1
so
forward.
you will have another +1 forward due to your specialties.
Let's see if that helps. Oh shit!
All
what
right,
happened?
it did help.
Thank you, guys.
So, Drake, you see something. You see some of that darkness start to recede from Robin's eyes, and for the first time, they seem to really notice you. Although they had looked at you before, there was a blankness there, a lack of recognition, as if whatever was going on inside them had superseded everything else. However, the darkness starts to fade, and although there is still this smoking kind of blackness just leeching off of them, it's no longer so consuming that it looks like a cloak. Instead, it's more like a bit of an aura. The hint of something there without being as consuming. You have made it through to Robin. Robin, you're a little bit more in your right mind now.
Robin, there is so many things going through their mind, but at some point when they finally hear his voice, and I think most importantly, hear him repeat their own words that they said to him earlier about "you are not alone in this."
Oh, that was an accident. I love it.
Yeah, I know it's excellent, but oh
Didn't
god.
mean to,
But he did repeat the same thing that Robin said when saying that you're special, and Robin sort of seemed to, for the first time, as I said, realize that there's other people here. And they look around and there's a little bit of a moment of shock on their face, and then there's, as they start to see, like, okay, I'm in a field, I'm wet from the waist down, there is people here. Susan is running towards this thing, it's stuck, actually I can't move, like there's all of those realizations that are just coming as what just happened is starting to catch up to them. But the only thing that they actually say is, it took them. It took Lucky.
I know. And I was gonna pay for that.
All right. So, Robin, you are still stuck in place, but you are more in control of your emotions.
Yeah.
You're more at peace with your grief, although it still exists. Eddie, you did successfully do that. Fatoon, did you?
Wait, before
Yes.
before everyone does
Yes.
their things, I think Futun is based off what happened to Robin. Starting to put together some pieces.
Yes.
Because Robin looked like they were transforming into this thing,
They
right?
did.
So Futun's mind is kind of like whirling and trying to think back to what they've studied and what they've known and what they've experienced, and is starting to think, what if this thing is also just a person that was transformed by grief, the way that Robin was being transformed by their grief? And knowing that, they think, we can't kill this person or hurt this person. We have to help them somehow. Maybe there's a way to reverse it the way that we did with Robin. And so can I use Dark Past to try and trawl through my memories for any information I might have about how to reverse this kind of thing?
Yeah, I'd say you could do that. What do you have to roll for that again? I know you've done it once before.
It's a weird roll.
Okay, it's a weird.
And
So-
I got a 6, but I'm going to use my luck.
I was about to say, are you going to use that luck? This seems very
Yes.
important. All right.
I'm going to change it to a 12, which means that now I have 2 questions that I can ask you from a list.
Okay.
First question is going to be, what black magic do I know that could help here? And by help, I mean like reversing this
Yeah.
potential transformation.
Okay. So, you think that just like Robin had to be connected through emotionally, getting through to them to make that darkness fade, you think that if you had a spell you could do or some sort of ritual that would make this person, whoever they are, remember something good like talking to Drake about how we're all in this together. You think that forcing a memory could start to reverse what's going on. And do you think there is a spell that could do that, even though you're not necessarily incredibly well versed in doing the magic yourself? You do know it exists.
Okay, second question. Who do I know that can help us right now? And I'm specifically thinking, do I need to get Eddie or do I need to get Robin to do this spell, or does it need to be both?
So you think that you could get Eddie to help, and Eddie's ability to tap into the mind would be incredibly helpful, to be able to see the memories of this person and replay them back for them. But you also think that this is an incredibly powerful being, and all the help you can get is going to make it easier to get through to them and to break through. So if you could get both Robin and Eddie to work together with you, perhaps you would stand a better chance.
Okay. Since I am like doing all of this thinking and calculating as people are reacting, I will give people a chance to do their thing and then relay this information afterwards, because I don't think I have the time to do it before you do stuff.
You've got a lot of thinking that you're doing. And then that is Fatoon all over. All right. Actually, we'll go to Susan first, because Susan, you were booking it towards this figure. What do you do when you get there? You're muted.
Muted.
I am sorry. Attack. I have no clue what's going on, but Susan is full on overprotective mode right now. She needs to hurt this thing before it can hurt anyone else. Needs to go. I'm like,
All right. I would like you to kick some ass for me.
yes. So it says with preternatural speed, you can go much faster than normal people. When you chase, flee, or run, take +1 ongoing. Would that count for him?
Yeah, I would say that you get a +1 to this kick some ass. You're much faster than anyone else here. I don't necessarily think the Reaper would expect it.
Yes, and I use plus weird instead of plus tough when I kick some ass.
Kick some weird ass.
Mm-hmm. And then I take +1 forward.
All right.
That's an 8.
So, Susan,
I'm very glad I was rolling on weird.
Susan, I have to ask you a specific question. How are you attacking? Is this with your claws?
Yeah, I've tossed the plan. I'm just.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your claws, can you read specifically what they say to me? Do they say anything in particular about their use as a weapon?
Wait, because there was a thing I think that allowed me to that it did extra. Where is the thing? Here, natural attacks. My base are teeth and claws are 2 harm hand.
Okay. All right. So you are raging and you run towards this cloaked figure. This cloaked figure who can't move. When you get there, you swing your claw down and you feel cloth. You feel that you have connected. And then it phases out of existence right as your hand passes through and phases back in, still in the exact same spot. Your claws didn't hit, but you did feel cloth.
Oh.
And you're now
I
very
roar.
close.
Yes, I am very close.
Oh,
I
boy.
was barreling at them, so I think maybe even as they phased out, I went through.
Yeah, I think you did. I think you would have fallen forward due to your own momentum, expecting to hit resistance, and you didn't.
Yeah, I was barreling at him and was just going with my full strength and like doing as much damage with my body as I was with my claws.
And so you fall forward into the ground, and as your hands hit the earth, instead of feeling grass beneath you, instead of feeling this field, you feel water, you feel rocks. And as you struggle back to your feet, shocked, confused, not sure why you didn't make a connection, the Reaper can't really turn in place so much, but its head turns just a little, just as much as it can, and its gaze meets yours. And suddenly, you feel yourself being pulled forward, pulled closer, and you are reaching out towards the hooded figure. And we will see how everyone else reacts to this. Eddie, what are you doing?
I don't know what to do yet with that information.
Mm-hmm.
So while I'm thinking about it, I'm still focused on the scythe, and I'm going to try again to just break it through.
All right. Roll for your hex, please. See if you can break that scythe. The scythe that made Lucky disappear.
Oh.
That's the same one. Anything happen?
Okay. Oh, there we go. It lagged for me for a moment.
Oh.
All right. So, Eddie, you are focusing in on this scythe, trying to break it, and you think that you get a good hit in. You hear that crack again, and the Reaper, unable to move, isn't able to try and stop whatever it is you're doing. The bottom half of the scythe detaches, and instead now he is holding it like a sickle, the bottom half removed. But he does still have the top of the scythe, the part that in theory is the most dangerous part. However, he no longer has the reach he once did. And you feel blood start to drip down your face. From your nose and from your ears. All right. Let's see. Drake, you are getting through to Robin, and you know it seems like they can't move. Is there anything you try and do to help with this situation?
Just gonna this is just gonna be totally out of left field, just an idea that he's not sure he can, but he's gonna attempt to put my hand on Robin and somewhat attempt to just focus, concentrate, and see if there's something he can do to break this.
All right, I would like
So
you
it's
to
gonna be-
roll to use magic for me. You're going to try and break this backlash spell.
Yeah. Let's see how
Oh
this
boy.
works. Okay.
All right,
Ah!
Drake,
Well,
you try. You focus. You are like, I am special. They said I was
Oh.
special. And
not
you
that special.
try, you
Oh.
focus, and although you feel the stirrings of magic within you, you feel something, you feel a bit of that same bright light that Fatoon used to heal you. It doesn't seem to take, and Robin is still stuck in place. However, you did feel something. You know that there's something in you, and maybe this just wasn't the right way to go about it. Not yet. Okay, Robin, you are still stuck. Is there anything you want to do before we get back to Fatoon and them being able to say what's going on?
Since I am seeing what's happening before me, and I remember seeing Lucky be taken, and now I'm seeing Susan being pulled by that. I am going to attempt to break free and improvise some magic
All right.
because
There's
I would
a
like
question.
to block it. Yes.
Did Susan disappear for the rest of them when she appeared in the lake?
What?
Sorry, say again?
Susan,
Did Susan
when
appear in the
Susan,
lake?
Oh, so Susan, you are still in the field,
Oh, I just feel the lake.
but you feel the lake against your hands.
Fair. Okay.
Okay. So how would I go about that? Let's see.
So I would say that if you were just trying to improvise some magic here to try and essentially break your own spell that backlashed on you, I think that you would just have to just use magic straight out of the gate. No specific spell unless you can
Right.
think of one that would break
Yeah.
a binding.
Yeah. I mean, I really just want to break it on myself.
Yeah.
But, you know, so
We'll see how well you roll if you break it on both of you.
Obviously. Yeah, it's basically I want to break out of it, and then I want to. Why is Roll20 not giving me my character sheet?
It does that sometimes. You might have to refresh.
Oh no. Give me a moment, I will refresh because Roll20 is not having it.
That does happen now and then.
Yeah, it certainly do. Because I don't think I have
If you're unable to bring it up, I can roll it for you.
Yeah,
Just
no,
let
I
me know.
can. I got it up now.
Okay.
So I'm gonna. So let's see if I can get out of this mess.
Fingers crossed, everybody. All right.
I'm gonna use luck.
Okay.
I might as well.
You
This
might
is
as
the
well.
final.
You try to break the spell at first, and you almost feel it start to give, but then you realize that if you keep pushing, it's going to break for both of you, thus giving up the advantage that you've gained for for the rest of the party. So you stop, breathe, center yourself, and you feel a moment of peace. And in that moment of peace, the binding spell on you and only you breaks. You are now able to move freely. However, we go to Fatoon. Fatoon,
Yeah.
you have finished thinking through everything you were thinking.
Yes. So after putting all of that together and realizing that we might be able to resolve this without resorting to violence, Fortuna is going to yell out, "Wait!" at just everyone extremely loudly, and is going to run over to Eddie and is going to say, did you see how Robin was transforming? I think that thing is a person that went through the same thing. I think we can reverse it. I think you can reverse it. If you remind it of its humanity, of its memories, I think we can bring it back. But I think Robin needs to help you. So, like, saying that to Eddie, Futun will also look over at Robin and will, kind of like yell out, depending on how far away Robin is from everyone else, will kind of like yell out as well. Robin, we need your help. I know a way to stop this.
Yeah, at that point, Robin is not hesitating. They are like, you can tell that they were about to like figure out to like throw another spell. Most of all because they're worried about Susan, but they hear you say that and figure that's gonna be a better shot. So they hurry over and they say, well, we need to do it now because it's gonna do something to Susan.
Eddie?
Yes, I'll do it. I'm going to do what I did with Miranda.
Mira?
Mira? Mira, for some reason that name just could not stick in your head. For all we know, Mira could be short for Miranda. We never specified.
Just remember, it's from Miracle.
Yeah, it's Miracle.
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 Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
That's how I remember. Thanks, Em. You're still here with us.
I'm going to tap into his memory.
Is there-
going to investigate a mystery.
Okay.
Trying to see what happened to this individual.
Okay.
If
You're basically
anything bad
trying
happened
to
him, just,
you're trying to figure out exactly who you're dealing with here. Is that right?
yes.
Okay. Investigate that mystery for me. If anyone
I
wants
help?
to, yes.
Yeah, that was gonna be my thing.
Yeah. Anyone who wants to help with this can roll your help action. You've all been gathering pieces of evidence this entire time. The only one I would say who can't help right now is Susan, because she's currently rather bewitched over there.
Can I? Oh my god! Can I help Can I help by using magic? Because this is me. I will because I want to enhance Eddie's magic essentially.
So I know right now Eddie is just doing a investigate a mystery first before.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
it's not there yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
not there yet. But you can help out with basically just like whispering things to Eddie, like remember this, like all the things all of you have learned. Fatoon, you're trying, but you just did a whole lot of thinking, and honestly, your brain is a little tired. You have a moment of be like, I have so much more to say, but I just said a lot of words.
Question for the DM.
Yes.
I just hit my first level up. Do I
Yes.
take it like now, or do I just never take it? Like,
You can take it now. Feel free to level
Okay.
up. If you just hit it,
Okay.
feel free.
okay.
All right. So, Robin,
So just
you try to help as well, but seems like Eddie's on his own here.
Yeah.
You've been through a lot today. Fatoon's been thinking a lot. You've just been through a lot emotionally. Eddie, roll to investigate a mystery. Let's see what you can find out.
this is
no.
Is this to tap into his mind, right? Or
This right now, if you're specifically trying to use magic, I would let Robin roll again just to help with some magic. But if you're just trying to kind of recall information first before you start the magic, then
it's I'm using telepathy to tap into his mind.
okay, to get the
Like,
information
allows
for
me-
specifically.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would
So it
say,
was my.
so Robin, if you would like to roll magic instead for that, you can.
Okay, so that the roll didn't happen. Shall I remove that experience and roll weird instead?
Yeah, I'd say remove that and roll weird instead if Eddie's using specifically his
Okay.
magic to investigate this mystery.
Okay.
I just
cool.
took the preparedness move. I threw it into chat so people can see it.
Okay.
Hey, guy,
That
yeah,
tracks.
that's a
I
turn
like it.
then.
All right,
Yep,
so
that's-
you do successfully help Eddie. So Eddie?
And it's
So
a big
it's a-
success, so I think it's a plus.
2.
Yes, that would be a +2, I believe.
That makes it a mixed success
So you get
instead
a
of a
mixed success,
failure.
Eddie. That's basically what you needed. Eddie, you...
It's actually a +1.
Is it only a +1? Oh, okay, so...
On a
No,
10
because
plus,
if-
your help
If
grants them
I'm
+1
rolling
to
my
their roll.
weird, it's a +2.
Okay, so Eddie, yes, because Eddie, you would get to add your weird instead. So that with the help and with the weird, you get it.
Oh,
Very
boy.
close. Still a big success, but you get it with the weird and the help. So Eddie, you start focusing. You're tired. Your ears are bleeding. Your nose is bleeding, but your eyes kind of go hazy for a moment, and you see into this cloaked figure's head. What you see at first is just darkness. You do not see much of anything at first. It's just darkness, and then you feel waves of grief and guilt and anger. And you think that this might have been what Robin was feeling earlier. But you push and you push, and your legs actually give out from beneath you, and you fall. But as you start to hit the ground, perhaps Robin's able to try and catch you. You do feel the stone of the lake beneath you. You feel that island, just like Susan did. And the illusion snaps, at least for you, Eddie. And instead, you see something else. You see water crashing over your head like you'd seen before. And as you see it, you hear again that same thing you heard before. You hear, "I'm so sorry. We're gonna make it out of this, I promise." And I don't know. I don't think so. And unlike before, you don't snap out of it immediately. Instead, your eyes clear and you see someone else in the water with you. You look down and you see your hands, and they look like Mira's hands. And then you look up and you see what looks to be Mira's dad. And then the position switches. You go from the old memory, the one you had been seeing from Mira's eyes, into her father's eyes. And you see Mira's dad watching as his daughter unfortunately succumbs to the water. And you see him, his own hands, fighting, struggling, trying to reach her before sinking lower and lower, and the water closes over his head. And you feel his last breaths in that moment. You feel his lungs getting tight. And the last thing he sees is someone reaching for Mira and pulling her out of the water. And he wouldn't know until later that she's in a coma. She didn't die. But at least in that moment, he thinks maybe she's okay. Until he finds out that's not the case. And you wake up, Eddie, flipped onto your back, staring at the sky. The island is beneath you. The lake is lapping at your feet. And you see the others all around you, standing in the water near this little island, seemingly lost in their own thoughts. The hooded figure is standing on the island, no longer in a hood. Just a guy. He still has the scythe, but he just looks like anybody's dad. He's got a mustache, he's wearing a fishing hat, and he has some cargo pants on. And do you think that in any other time, in any other place, instead of a scythe in his hand, it would be a fishing pole? And he looks at you as you lay on the ground, and he asks you one very specific question. Is she still alive? She's here with me.
And I'm going to try to hold on to whoever is near. I don't even know who it is, just to pick myself up. And like I start kind of crawling weakly towards Mira's dad. Like I'm trying, and like if somebody tries to hold me down, I'm going to like swipe their hand away. And then as I'm dragging myself, I'm gonna look up to him. Once I reach him, it's like, she's alive. In the hospital.
Oh, thank God.
I've seen her. Seen through her eyes. And I saw my mom in the hospital. You got to stop this. You've got to wait. Let her go.
But if I let her go, she'll never know how sorry I am for this.
She knows. She'll know. It's not your fault. It is nobody's fault when it comes to an accident. Never anybody's fault.
And
you need to move on.
as you say that, each of you snaps back to the lake. You are standing on that island, but the water is calmed. You see Eddie at your feet, and you see what Eddie sees. No longer a reaper, just a guy, just a man, with a scythe in his hand. And he looks at each of you. I didn't want it to be like this. I didn't mean to hurt anybody. I thought that if people kept coming, they would take her away. And I couldn't say goodbye yet. I'm not ready to go. And as he says that, the clouds get darker above him, and you start to feel the rain get harder on each of you. And
I would like to roll plus cool to resist my impulses and
right.
see if Susan can actually
Are,
all right.
are we all collected this time? Like, or have everyone like moved so that we are in?
You are all standing on this island now. You are essentially in the same positions that you were when you were standing in the field, but now you're on the island. It seems you were there the whole time, just it didn't look the same. And
That's a 7.
all right. So, Susan, this is hard for you. This is the man, ostensibly, who has endangered your children, endangered the children you consider yours, and has kept all of Lake Wonder seemingly in some sort of strange limbo. At least all of Lake Wonder who has managed to make it here for whatever reason. However, you understand, in a way. This is a man who just couldn't say goodbye to his daughter. Somebody who felt responsible for something awful that happened and didn't know how to make it right. And knowing that you have your own problems with rage and your own problems with taking things too far, it is something that you can relate to. And so you are able to act against your innate protectiveness and that rage you feel to be able to connect and speak as you would freely.
I stand up shakily and take a step forward. She's your daughter, isn't she?
Yes, we, it's so long ago now, isn't it? We went on a fishing trip, and the water was supposed to be fine, but a sudden storm came in, and I said it would blow over. It didn't blow over.
You just... There are kids. We want to protect them. We want to be there for them and teach them and show them the world. More than anything, we want to make sure nothing happens to them ever. I
certainly failed there.
She's alive.
Then why is she stuck here? Why can't she wake up?
Because sometimes, and she glances towards Drake, towards Eddie, in the distance towards the church where she still thinks Betty is. Sometimes when we try to protect them, we hold them back instead. We keep them. I suppose we keep them living their own lives, even though we should be helping them along instead. And sometimes that means they leave you behind and become better and more than we ever can be. They're amazing, aren't they?
He looks down and you see him kind of remembering. And Eddie, you still have a bit of a connection with him. You see in your mind's eye flashes of what you think was Mira growing up. You see her waddling around in diapers, and you see her learning how to ride a bike and trying to shoot a basketball and being too short, and so it just falls to the ground instead. And then in a moment, each of you sees something. You see the people close to you. You see those who perhaps could have driven you to something like this. The people who you consider dear friends. Perhaps you see each other. You see, and for Robin, this is especially poignant, you see Lucky. And you know what this would feel like to lose someone and to feel to blame for it. And each of you, perhaps you're feeling some of his emotions. Perhaps they're backlashing onto you. Perhaps these aren't just your feelings entirely. However, you do understand in a way. And he looks up, he meets each of your eyes, and says, yeah, she really is amazing. And he takes the scythe, which has now been broken in half as more of just a sickle, and lays it on the ground. And as he does, each of you feels the power coming off this item. And each of you can feel the pull of power that Mira's dad would have felt before he took it up. But you, Robin, you feel it stronger than anybody else. I would like you to
Yeah, I know.
You have one of two options here, just like you did before. You can either try and use your own magic to resist the pull, or you can try and use your cool to keep your own will with you, to not reach out and grab the sickle.
Can
If
is this
about oh, go ahead.
A moment. Is this about my temptation?
This is part of your temptation, yes.
Yes, because that is all. Because, well, at least according to the rules, that is supposed to be a cool.
Okay, then you could roll cool for this, specifically.
Oh boy.
And I would say, though, each of you are seeing the emotions warring over Robin's face, and you saw what she looked like earlier. You can try and assist.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna attempt to help out, and because I've sort of been with Robin through this and sort of watched the transformation. Even I'm just gonna put my hand on their shoulder and just sort of once again let them know, hey, I've got you. And oh god, let's hope the
also
dice
putting
roll
a
line up with
hand
that.
on their shoulder.
Yeah.
I think
Or
we're
actually,
doing-
no, I'm grabbing their hand. Not the one that's reaching out, the other one in a like.
Eddie's gonna
So-
do something not helpful.
Okay. What's Eddie gonna do?
Eddie is going to destroy the site.
Oh, okay.
Her
And
last pow-
I
her
would
his
like to
last
see-
power.
I gotta say though that I would like to see if you do that before they can do it first.
Okay,
Because
I,
that might become a struggle if
Yeah,
they
we'll
fail.
see how this happens.
Because
Essentially,
as
yeah.
I saw him dropping the scythe, I wanted to completely destroy it
Would you be doing that
Because it
using
was
a hex?
Yeah, my hex, because I've been trying to break it anyway.
Yeah. So
and I still feel that that's the power that's holding us in here.
yeah. So what I will say is I think these two things are going to happen concurrently. And so my last question is, Fatun, what are you trying to do?
So I think Futun is trying to come up with something to say to Robin that would pull them back and ground them in this situation, but they don't quite understand what Robin's feeling because the feeling that they got was all theoretical, right? It was all something that could have happened to somebody that they loved, but what Robin is feeling is very real.
Yes.
It did happen. And I think just that gap makes it so if Futun can't really come up with anything that they think would be useful, so they just don't say anything.
Okay. All right. Robin, I would like you. Did you already roll that cool?
I haven't rolled yet.
Okay. So
what
you
do I...
get to roll with a +1 forward from Drake, successfully grounding you a bit, putting that hand on your shoulder.
Yeah.
I use luck to turn my 6 into a 12.
Okay. And so you also feel Susan's hand gripping yours, and you get to add another +1 forward.
It's this hairy paw, just sort of.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And so, what happens is, Robin, you are reaching for the scythe. And then you feel a hand in yours. You feel a hand on your shoulder. You feel Fatun at your back and Eddie beside you. And as you start to draw back, Eddie, you smash that thing to smithereens. Roll your hex for me, if you didn't already. Let's see. Do you succeed?
I would like to... Can I assist that instead?
Yeah, I'd say you could. You did notice Eddie beside you, and as Eddie goes to try, so yeah, roll to help out here. See if you can help destroy it.
Normal help out or magic help out?
Magic help out.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Next success.
With the two of you together, Eddie, you're tired, but you know that this thing needs to be destroyed. And Robin, you had felt this pull over you stronger than anything else, and if it weren't for your friends, you think you would have given in. But instead, you let that grief and that anger that you had felt earlier go. And you, instead of reaching out, you just send a bit of magic to join with Eddie's. And the scythe, or in this case sickle, shatters.
Yeah.
And
what do I expose myself to?
so you have, I think, just exposed yourself to the knowledge of how close you came to submitting to this. You know a little bit more about yourself, that this grief and this rage is inside you, and that it could come back. You were okay today, but in the face of great power in the future, you might not be able to resist, especially alone.
Eddie face planted into the ground.
Yeah, Eddie passes the fuck out.
Like, yeah, he's out for the count.
And
Susan gathers him to her, like literally picks him up,
Just.
hand
Robin.
under. Like, yeah.
I think Robin's just standing there, really dazed. Yeah.
And Mira's dad looks at all of you again. It's a weight off my shoulders. Hey, how about, is it okay if I talk to her before I go? Just once.
I think
don't
she'd
see why
like to
not.
hear
I
it.
would think so.
I know where she is.
Great.
Oh, okay, yeah, I forgot.
Where? Where is she? I can't sense her.
That's by design. She's in my haven, if you want to come with.
Yes, please. And he kind of stumbles over his own feet, not used to actually walking. It's been a while.
I think we will lead him to the haven. Eddie, did you ask them to keep the door open still, or?
Locked and waiting for the ranger to.
Okay.
Because I think you can open it from the inside, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There would be no reason to lock it from the inside.
I will say that as the others leave to, have him so that he can have words with the starter, Robin is going to sit down. They are not coming along for this. They are feeling way too many things about the prospect of him getting to talk to her after what he did.
Yeah, whereas Robin doesn't have that chance. All
Can
right.
I notice that?
I would say that, yeah, you were holding Robin's hand, and Drake, you were touching their shoulder. So I think each of you would notice that Robin isn't going with Eddie and Fatoon and Mira's dad to head to the Haven.
Hey. That was a lot. I sit down next to them. Just a warm presence. And eventually, I set Eddie down into my lap, and, like in one arm. Put the other arm around Robin. Just warming them up, being support.
And Robin, as much as you do feel all these emotions, in this moment, at least you have one comfort, and that's you're not alone.
I never really got to know them. They said something earlier about how they had an aunt named Susan and an uncle named Carl. I think that might have been me.
Yeah.
Would you tell me about them?
Yeah, give me a moment. There. They were very special. I don't think they realize that though.
It's okay.
Have so many theories. Insane one half the time, but it was very, very smart too. I think I could have been a better friend, did I?
I think you were the best friend you could be. And I think more than anything that you cared about them so much.
And at that point, Robin is sort of curl up. I don't think they can speak.
Mm. I think that's where we leave them, just
I think so.
Does
sitting
anybody
there.
stay with Robin? Just keeping them company. Susan? Drake, do you go to the Haven?
I think Drake is gonna go to the Haven. It's getting kind of heavy for him, and he feels like Susan is much better equipped for this kind of thing than just some dumb kid, you know. So
Susan's mothering the
he's
situation.
yeah, he feels like this is what she does. He's gonna let Susan do it because she is damn good at it. And
All right. And
yeah.
Eddie, as exhausted as you are, you do start to wake up. And you can either choose to stay here or you can go with Drake. Do you stay with Susan or go with Drake?
I would have stayed, but with the emotions coming out of Robin, I think it's going to affect Eddie a lot because of what happened with his grandmother. So, I think he's going to get up and go.
All right. So,
And just
go ahead.
and kind of turn to Robin. It's like, just look at them for a second, not turn and walk away.
And so, Susan, you stay behind with Robin, keeping them company in their grief. And I think maybe eventually you learn a little bit more about Lucky. However, Robin is pretty consumed with emotion right now. And so, Drake and Eddie, you meet up with Fatoon and Mira's dad at the Haven. And you come upon a scene that is fraught with emotion, but as much as it's sad, there is a little bit more of a silver lining here. You see Mira hugging her dad, and you hear her speaking. Dad, I never blamed you. You couldn't predict the weather. You thought it would blow over. I mean, how many other times have we been on the lake and nothing went wrong? How many times did the storm actually blow over? I can't believe you thought it was your fault. It's not your fault, Dad. And you hear Father. It's just hard knowing that I couldn't protect my little girl. But you've done so many great things here, even stuck as I made you. You tried to help these people, you protected people, you made that church into something like home, even if it was a little bit messy. And she laughs. Dad, you're always on me to clean my room. I'm in college now. You have to let me have my own space, Dad. And he rolls his eyes and laughs and hugs her a little tighter and whispers in her ear, just loud enough for everyone else to hear because you're still pretty close. Well, you're gonna have all your own space now. I can't come with you. You can wake up, but I can't. You know how I was dressed as a reaper before? And he pulls back, holding her by the shoulders. That's 'cause I stopped the other reaper. He was there for me, and I didn't want to go. And I took the scythe. I have to go, but you can wake up. And I want you to wake up. I want you to live. They've made me see how wrong this is keeping you here just because I'm lonely. And hey, don't worry about me. I'm gonna, I hear there's something great after this. And it's time for me to go. And she gives him a long hug like she doesn't want to let go. But Eventually, she nods. And there are tears on her face. But he turns around, leaves the haven, and walks. Oh,
And Futun wants to follow him out
yeah.
as he goes. And before he leaves, they just want to ask him, the people that you took, what happened to them?
Oh, well, it depends on the person. And he kind of mimes with the scythe. If I took them down with it, well, that's one thing. But if I cut open reality, then they passed on. Your friend, the one that was with you in the church, the blonde one, they should still be alive. They should have woken up in the hospital. I didn't cut open reality for them. I just made them leave here. They might have chosen to pass on, but I didn't make them. If they wanted to stay, they're back in the hospital.
Okay, thank you. And I hope your journey is easy. I don't really know much about
I
this
don't know
specifically,
either.
but
And Eddie, did you have something?
Yeah. Eddie, being Eddie, sneaks up behind the dad.
Yeah, of course he does. Oh, Jesus.
Kind of whisper. Sorry. Whispers in his ears like, it wasn't for you. And whatever time that you were trying to save your daughter, it was needed, the time needed to have somebody come and take her out. Take that with you. And go with that.
And his eyes get bright with tears. I'm glad. I didn't know what it meant when I saw someone reaching for her. I don't know what I thought. But knowing it made a difference that she's alive because of it, it does make passing on a little bit easier. Hey, when you all get out of here, maybe, take her out to breakfast on me or something. Say it's from me. I'll owe you one in the afterlife, whatever that is.
Just tell my grandmother hi for me.
Yeah, what's her name? You tell her. You tell him her name. And he's like, got it. I'll say hi, and I'll let her know that she's got a really powerful grandson. And then he walks into the trees, and you see, it's almost as if reality is ripped, as if there should be more trees, and instead you just see bright light. And then he walks into it, silhouetted, before reality closes, and there's only trees again. And then you wake up. Each of you. You see a hospital ceiling above you, and you hear the nurses talking. But this time, it doesn't fade away. This time, you're really awake, and as each of you looks at your hands, you see your own hands looking back at you. This is you. And you also see something else. Something very, very unexpected. You see Lucky.
Robin, who's been crying their fucking hearts out, and probably, which I believe must have been concerning to everyone in the hospital, likely did that, like, laying in bed, like, unconscious, is like, They're confused for a moment, but then they sort of, gets out of bed so fast they're probably like yanking out whatever they are hooked up to people's concern and tackles Lucky to the ground.
And Lucky, as you kind of hear as you all wake up, is currently trying to move all of your beds down the hallway, trying to take your bodies out of the hospital because the government's going to get you. And as you get up out of the bed and you tackle them to the ground, their eyes open wide and you hear, "You're awake! I knew you would wake up! I told them!" And each of you
Amazing.
later discover that what had really happened, what had really sent you all into this strange dream or coma or whatever it was, there had been a bus crash. There had been a field trip that Susan, Eddie, Jenny, Betty, Drake were on, going to the lake, when the car that was carrying Lucky and Robin had tried to avoid a deer, their Uber driver, yanked the wheel, losing control in the slick weather. Weather much like the day when Mira and her father had gotten into their trouble. The car had skidded off the road and hit the bus, sending it careening into the lake. And Fatoon, you had been nearby. You had seen the bus go into the lake, and you were trying so hard to help them, unfortunately endangering yourself at the same time. Each of you were rescued and brought out of the bus. There were no casualties, and you think that there maybe would have been if it weren't for Mira and her dad, if it weren't for the weird limbo that had kept you all alive long enough for your bodies to stabilize. And so, you all get to live another day. You get to wake up in Lake Wonder, and you've learned a lot about yourselves and each other, and a little bit about death and maybe what waits beyond. And that is the end of our story.
That was good. Holy
Oh
shit.
man.
Oh,
Oh, that was intense.
amazing.
Wow.
Beautiful storytelling.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope you all enjoyed it.
Oof.
I
Oh,
know
I did.
that things got real emotional.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I will
Oh.
say I was completely fine during that time, but I was 100% crying and through Robin.
I did remember you saying this, that might happen to you,
Yes.
so I was at the ready if you needed me, but I believed you were okay.
Yeah, no. I no, like this. It's not the first time I've gotten so in character that I've been crying. It doesn't happen a lot, but when it happens, it's
Yeah, it does.
fantastic. It's not something I find uncomfortable, so it's fine.
Yeah.
It's really releasing, isn't it? Like,
It
it's a
is.
big release.
You all did a really good job. I loved all of your characters, and I would love to see them again in the future.
Oh.
If they ever want to come back to an adventure like Wonder. Before we have
Oh,
a
you
bit
know
of
it.
a off-camera wind down for everybody where we can talk about this a little more, we are just going to go around the table and have everybody introduce themselves one last time, say who they're playing, where people can find them, and anything else they want to share. So we are going to start with Ginny. Who were you playing and where can people find you?
Hi, I'm Ginny Voss, all over the internet, GINNYVOS. And I was playing Susan, who is very much a mom and also kind of Bigfoot, who runs a baking blog, and learned that maybe she should work on letting her kids free to be their own people sometimes today.
Maybe she learned a little bit from Mira's dad and the
Yeah.
perils of being an overprotective parent.
Yep. And yeah, you can find my blog on allgoodquestions.wordpress.com, where I write things. You can find fan fiction I write on Ginny Voss on Archive of Our Own. and I have a Twitter that I never use and a Tumblr that I very sporadically use.
Definitely search Ginny out.
Yeah.
You did a wonderful job, and we all love Susan dearly.
I love all of you. Thank you so much.
You're
That was amazing.
all right,
Oh my
Taima,
God.
who were you playing, and where can people find you?
Hi, I'm Taima. I was playing Robin, who had quite the emotional turmoil this episode, as we've all seen. Completely snapped on all that. You can find me on Taima Time on Twitter, Taima Creative on Instagram, Taimaland on Tumblr, and Taima on Gamebinder if you're curious about my 5e homebrew stuff. And yeah, I do art and writing and stuff, and I'm so happy to be here. It was fantastic. Thank you so much, Corinne.
I'm glad you enjoyed
and yeah, and Corinne, I sent you an image of a little scene that I would love you to if you could
it.
share.
Oh yeah, let me take a look real fast. Oh, ooh, okay, yeah, here. Let me
Yeah.
save this. We can add it to our little thing, and after we give everybody a little go through, I can add it into that little screen
Yeah.
show and show everybody.
Yeah.
So I will keep doing that while we have Mina. Who are you? Who were you playing? And if you have anything you'd like to share.
Absolutely. And I played Edgar Anderson, who is a spooky character who had a lot of growth throughout the three, seasons we played in. From a depressed child to following the path of his grandmother, who was the divine, and trying to be the protector of people like Wonder is kind of his main goal now. And making friends along the way. So he's probably going to end up being a friend who just pulls pranks all the time.
That is Eddie, all over.
Yes. But yeah, he's learned a lot. Learned how to use his power of not to harm people, but to help them at least. So yeah. You can find me in many places, but mostly I do try to stream. My Twitch is Music30. So you can find me there. I play a bunch of variety games. Currently, I am not streaming. I'm trying to fix everything before that. I'm also doing a GoFundMe page for my dog Luna who needs surgery. I'll give Corinne the link again.
I just posted it again. I had it from earlier.
Luna needs surgery. She injured her back leg, and we paid some of it, but not all of it yet. So that's the if you can help, that'll be fine.
Yeah, if anybody can help, that would be great.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Alrighty. Definitely check out Mina in all the places. Next up, we have Fishy.
Hi, yeah, I was Fishy, and I was Drake Galloway, the punk kid who turns out to be the chosen, and he's actually got more of a destiny than he thought. And now he's sort of trying to, he's going to be in this journey of discovering exactly who he is and what it was that he's meant to do.
And maybe that is something that Fatoon will help with. We'll see. All right. Last but certainly not least, Hamna.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hamna. I use any and all pronouns, and today I was playing Fatoon, Bora the Expert. Lots happened. That was a lot. You can find me on Twitter at @shahid_, where I talk about all of the different projects I'm a part of. And I'm also the dice maker for Noctis Resin. We are at Noctis Resin on Instagram and on Twitter. So if you're interested in buying a set of custom handmade dice, follow us and then DM me and we'll talk.
Definitely check them out. All right, so we do have a little bit of extra art to show everybody, so I'm going to switch over to our map screen so we can see. I just added it into our little slideshow we had from earlier. So it will take a minute to get there, but when it gets there, we'll know it. It's new.
Oh, you'll know it. It's something, alright.
You can get a quick last look at these characters before we say goodbye to them for a while.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Should be coming up soon, I think. There's Susan, at least on my screen. I'm seeing it early.
Spoilers.
Spoilers! I see it now, so it'll be there for a second for everybody.
The build up.
The suspense.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, it's coming up next.
Yeah, it's been shown in the stream already.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that new art was Robin losing their shit.
Idiots.
Oh, you know.
All
Who
right.
does?
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I am Corinne. I've been your keeper today. You can find me on Twitter as Manic Pixie Girl without the E. I run games. Apparently now I run Monster of the Week. This is my first time doing it, so I hope you all enjoyed.
Oh, it was great.
You were so
I
good.
do art stuff. I made all these templates. I usually run a Saturday D&D game, which is a lot of fun. It'll be coming back sometime in probably July or August. We'll see. But yeah, so check me out. Check out all these lovely people. It has been a great time, and thank you so much for joining us. I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. There's not much left, but I hope you get some relaxation in. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
All right. We are off camera, and